Okay, our next drill is the shell drill, which is actually one of our favorite drills here in the league, and as far as the coaches are concerned, something we really like to do, really like to teach. The Guilford Basketball League, the rec league, is all man-to-man or player-to-player, however you want to call it. It's all man-to-man defense, so there's no zone, there's no trapping. In league play, nothing like that. It's all player-to-player. And what we're going to do here in this drill is we're going to break it down and show you exactly how you can teach your players, really from bare bones, how to play defense, whether it's on the ball or off the ball, and what you can instruct them to do, and in conjunction with a lot of the philosophies of the Guilford Basketball League. So, offensive player, come out there right here. Defensive player, come out there right here. Very simply, it's very, very kind of self-evident. This is player-to-player defense, man-to-man, player-to-player, however you want to call it. Offensive player, defensive player. We're going to show you later about where to pick up in terms of when the ball's coming down the floor, where you can pick up. There's no pressing either. You can't press in the league, so you can't pick up full court, man-to-man. You have to pick up at least inside half court for sure. But in player-to-player, man-to-man, all right, you're guarding the ball, and this is called on-the-ball defense. And what we're looking for here from a defender is, position-wise, is to stay in front of the ball and really keep your body down, hands out, and that's a perfect defensive stance right there. Okay? Okay, stand up. Very good. Very simple. Now, if we add a player, which we'll do to either side as we go through this. So for now, what we're going to do is we've added actually 3 players. What we're going to do is we're going to work with this side of the court first. So now we have offense in green, defenders in white. Okay? So if the defenders here are in white, what we're going to show them is how to play on-the-ball defense, which we've actually already done, and off-the-ball defense over here. Now, in terms of teaching, what we're going to have coaches do is this. You're not necessarily guarding your player if you stand right next to him. That is not defense. Because if he stands over by the offensive player, you have to emphasize to your team in general, the most important thing on the floor is this, the basketball, not the player that you're guarding. Because if the ball is dribbled to the basket slowly, go ahead. Stop. The defender who says he's guarding his man over here is in no position to help out when the ball is being dribbled to the basket and maybe scored. You have to have support defense or help defense. So in order to accomplish that, we want to have this player move a little bit toward the ball. All right? Don't try to get it from the way. All right? So we have this player moving a little bit toward the ball. So now, if the ball is dribbled, again, slowly to the basket, now we have someone who's in position, to help out. All right? So one back. So the emphasis here is not only are you guarding your player, but you're also guarding the ball. That's a tough concept for players to understand, especially who are in, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. Okay, I'm guarding him, but the ball and things are moving around. It's hard. It's a hard concept. But this is why you have to start kind of in a very fundamental way. So we have a help player right here. Now, if the ball's passed, go ahead and pass it over here to you. Now, this player becomes an on-ball defender, and this player, don't move yet, becomes a help defender. So now, we come to right about here. So now we're ready to help if the ball gets driven to the basket. This player can come down and drop the help. But what you don't want to do is don't have the player who was guarding the ball to be in a position like this, and when the ball gets passed, not move. That's a cardinal mistake, and you don't want to have players, especially at a young age, get programmed to do that. So we're always telling players when the ball gets passed that direction, move in the direction of the pass so you're ready to help out. Okay? All right, pass the ball back up. So now, yep, and now you're an on-ball defender. And now, listen, you're ready to help out right here. Okay? Now, in terms of making this a little more realistic, now we have 3 players. 3 green offense, 3 white defense. All right? You notice also now the defenders are in position to help. Now, they're not too far away from their player. I mean, they're not going to play defense in here. That's almost like a zone. But they're still guarding their offensive player in a position where they're in support as well, in case the ball gets driven. Now, pass the ball in the same direction again, over there. Yeah. Justin, where do you go? On the ball defender. See, this is where your assistant coach, again, can help out by actually directing traffic and helping them get to the exact position where they need to be. Okay? Very good. Now, to right there. Good. Good. Now, in the rec league, what we want to tell the players who are on the weak side to do, so Tim, right here, what we're going to do is put 1 foot in the paint and 1 foot out of the paint. Right there. Okay? Now, remember, this player went from here, when the ball was passed, to here. That's a hard concept. Now, it looks very simple. It looks like, well, sure they should do that. But it's actually for him to think about that and to be able to do that takes a lot of practice. And it takes a lot of work. Timmy knows what he's doing, so he did that automatically. Right? But you start to see where the defenders are. The defenders are in help position. They're in support position. So again, anytime there's a drive, again, this is the most important thing. Not the player you're guarding. This is the most important thing on the floor. And if it gets driven, you're ready to help out. Now, from this point, pass it over to the far guy on the far wing, throw a skip pass. Good. Now where do we go? To there. To there. To there. Hey, Mara, what are you doing? Get back up here. You're not trying to get open. And players will try this, and this is good. Players will try to get open. It's all right. That's it. Remember, though, in practice, when you're starting to explain this, and again, this is kind of a longer explanation, but you can go through this pretty quick with your players, especially if you have an assistant who can help you. You don't have to spend this much time doing it. This is more for the coaches, but you can get them, you can direct traffic a lot quicker and say, okay, now we're just going to do it, and have that ball kind of pinged around, have your coach helping out, and just moving players from spot to spot. That's how you want to do it. So now the ball's here. We have an on-ball defender. We now have a support defender here, and we have a defender with 1 foot in the paint. What we've done is we've just made a mirror image of what was done about 3 minutes ago. So now we've just gone like that, and the defender, because the ball's over there now, on-ball defender is in that area. All right? So now bring the ball back out on the top. So now Emma goes on ball, support, and supports. Okay? So that's the concept of 3-on-3 shell. If you have more players on the court, or you want to use, if you have 8 players, or you want to do 2 guards, 2 forwards, that's fine. It's actually ideal if you can start maybe from your second or third practice, however we're going to kind of lay out your practice plan. The way of teaching defense, this is almost the perfect way to do it. You go from 1-on-1 to then 2-on-2 to then 3-on-3, and you notice that the offensive players have not moved. They have not even begun to say, okay, now everybody just get open and create chaos. We don't want to do that yet. Especially from a coaching standpoint, make sure the players know what they're doing first, and then you can add movement, and then you can add more players, and it just works out very, very well where they know what they're doing first before things start to get pretty crazy.